married, are you? And then he's like, oh, well, yes, but it's not working out very well. And I'm like,
I wonder why. Because you're on a dating site. Yikes. Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Life with a Cheri on Top. I'm your host, Cheri, and today I am joined again with my husband, Kevin. Not by my husband, Kevin. With my husband, Kevin. Hey, baby.
Hello. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Excellent.
So today I want to talk about, because we've discussed online dating in the past, I want to talk about online dating again.
Okay.
So
You gotta go on. You going back online dating?
No.
All right, just checking.
No.
All right.
But some of the stories are pretty hilarious that we have shared with each other. So I thought it would be funny to share them with everyone.
Sure.
So for those who don't already know or haven't figured this out yet, Kevin and I met many years ago. I'm so bad at this
$20
game.
if you know which site it was on.
Well, hang on.
You always do this wrong.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Is it 14 years?
It has been. Yeah.
I got it right. Okay.
Yeah.
So 14 years and the site that we met on. So we met online. Oh my gosh.
Spit it out, woman.
I'm trying to think of which site it was. It was.
Well, you were on like 90 of them. So
I was
I
on
narrowed it down to two. I know which one it is, but
was it OkCupid?
yes, that's the first time you've ever gotten that.
Oh, woo, high five. All right. Okay. So, yeah, I was on a lot of dating sites and they're all terrible, by the way.
Well, no, you can't say that. I mean,
I can't say that.
but they're not all terrible. We met on one. It's just, it's whether or not you get the truth entered in during that process is the whole
yes.
issue. Okay.
So in fairness, yes, the sites are fine. It's the people that are crazy.
Yes.
So,
yeah.
So it just, I mean, it's just weird. Like okay. So for those who don't know, what I look like, I'm very tall. I'm 5'9", and which I guess now isn't even that tall, but it's tall for a girl, right?
Above average, I believe.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, I don't know anymore. I am 5'9", and my thing, like my hang up was you have to be taller than me. And I know that excludes a lot of guys, and I'm sorry, but it's just a thing with me. Like I want to be able to wear heels when I go out and not tower over the person that I'm with. Right? So
you had enough of that uncomfortableness in high school.
Oh my God.
Right.
Like every day.
Right.
That was in gym shoes.
Right.
So, so it's a thing with me. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like the biggest lie told, as soon as a guy tells you that they're 5'9", they're totally lying. I don't think there's any guy that's 5'9" that is actually 5'9". That means they're 5'6". And what I don't understand is, do you not think I'm not going to notice when we meet? Like you're 3 inches shorter than me?
I never thought about it. Well, when I went into this in a different manner than most people, a lot of times this is an opportunity for people to try and
score.
Yeah. Try and have sex and, but I that wasn't looking at that, for that reason, for that purpose.
Well, isn't that what Tinder is these days?
Sure.
I
think so. Yeah. I mean,
I'm being serious. I think that's what I think it's like swipe if you think
I think it's still a connection thing, but I'm probably more on the sexual side of connection than, hey, I want to marry you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody goes into a dating site going, hey, I want to marry you, but they are looking for a relationship, yes. I would think. I think Tinder's the opposite, though. I think it's all sex. So, but I don't know.
Let me write that down.
Yeah.
Got it.
I was just about to say, I don't know for sure because I'm not on it. Anyway, so online dating is like, how do you describe it, babe? It's like,
I think everybody's got their own description. It is like picking something out of a barrel that you're not sure what you're going to get. And it's, even though it's all there and you may see a picture, that picture might be 20 years old.
Yes.
The height and their weight's different. Everything's usually different.
It's crazy.
So, it's nuts. I didn't know all that really going into this, what you've experienced, when I first met you.
Right.
Because I had gone on maybe 3 or 5 dates online, and
3 or 5.
I was busy back then. I didn't go on a lot of them. But there was, and as a guy, I'm obviously going in more comfortable. I'm not thinking something's going to go wrong or someone's going to try and take advantage of me, or I just never crossed my mind,
right?
And I didn't realize until I met you that that's on every girl's mind when you're, and it should be. Hopefully, it is.
Yeah.
Going into these dates or meetings or whatever, and that's a scary situation. I guess I had a lot more respect for that than I did when I was first doing it by myself.
Yeah, well, you're a guy and you're a big guy, so you have nothing to worry about.
I put down 6'1", and I'm actually 6'1".
Yes, I was just about to say, and you were absolutely correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like, so what he's referencing is, when he and I first met and we were talking and kind of comparing stories, online dating stories, I said, there's things that women have to do. Like we have to meet you out somewhere because we don't want you to know where we live, because we don't know if you're a lunatic yet or not.
Sure.
And I don't want you to know what I drive. So I'll show up 5 minutes early so that I'm at the restaurant, so you don't see me getting out of my car. Like, it's all those kinds of things that I always was, I guess, mentally aware of and took precautions, because I swear to you, every person I met online was a lunatic except the man I ended up marrying. They were crazy.
Yeah.
Like, they were literally crazy.
You've got some good stories.
Yeah, so let's get to that. For me, like, my favorite, listen, when it happened, I was totally pissed off. Looking back at it, I don't know, 18 years later or whatever, it's funny, right? So this guy and I had been talking online on the dating site, and I don't know which one, so don't ask. And
I wasn't gonna.
I was like on Match and Yahoo and oh no, was it Plenty of Fish that we met on?
No, but that's what you always think it was. It was Okay Cupid.
I was okay. Yep. Okay Cupid. I was on all those. Okay. And some sites you have to pay for and some you don't. And by the way, it makes no difference. They're all lunatics. So it really is, like Kevin said, shooting fish out of a barrel. And I think we just really got lucky that we found each other.
No doubt.
Yeah. So there is hope, I guess, for people out there that are listening, that are online dating. I guess I shouldn't keep continually saying that everybody's a lunatic, but that was my experience.
Yeah.
So this guy and I had been talking online, and he seemed pretty normal. And
just above the normal bar, so that's okay.
That's right.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good enough.
And he lived in the southwest suburbs, and I lived in the northwest suburbs. And so we were going to meet in the middle. That was the agreement. We were going to meet in the middle. But then he suggested that we meet at, I think it was not a Bennigan's, but one of those types of restaurants. And it was in Chicago Ridge, which is in the southwest suburbs. So I'm already annoyed because I'm like, oh, gee, thanks for meeting me in the middle, you jackass. So, but whatever, I agreed to it. It was snowing that day. And it wasn't a snowstorm or anything, but it had been snowing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I will drive anywhere. It makes no difference to me.
Yeah.
So as I was driving to the restaurant, I got a phone call, and it was him. And he said he had just been rear-ended. And he was okay. He was just running late because, he had to file the police report and yada, yada. So, okay, fine. So I get to the restaurant. which was fine with me because then I got to the restaurant and I had a drink to like relax, you know? So he shows up and I don't know, like during the course of the conversation, things were going okay. And it was weird. And then I got up to use the restroom. And when I came back, he was on the phone with somebody, which ended up being his mother, which, why are you talking to your mother? I mean, unless it's a family emergency, and I get that, just for the record, but that was not this case. Okay. So I come back and he's talking to his mom and he's like, okay, Mom, I got to go. She's back or whatever. So he hangs up the phone and I said, that was your mom? And he said, oh yeah, she just called to, I don't know, remind him of something. And he said, oh, it was so funny because she said, I hope you brought your condoms. And I said, does she know we're at dinner? Like, you know, and he said, well, yeah, she knows we're at dinner, but, you know, she also knows we're going to go back to a motel or something afterwards. So she just wanted to make sure I brought my condoms. And I'm like,
well, it's a good mom. Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. So, I'm going to leave. And here's $20. And, you know, and he says, and I swear to you, this is what he says. Oh, you expect me to pay for dinner? And I said, I just threw $20 on the table for the drink that I just had and the, you know, whatever we had ordered appetizer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's more than fair. And he goes, I was in a car accident on the way here. You should be buying me dinner.
And I brought the condoms.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on.
He goes, you should be buying me dinner. And I'm like, what? And I'm literally standing there like an idiot. Like, I don't even know what to say to this guy. So I was just like, I just shook my head.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Walked away. And I was like, why? Why are people like this? Why are people this crazy?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just don't get it. And he, by the way, he didn't lie about his height. He was probably like 5'10". He was a little bit taller than me. But I would say most of the other guys that I had ever met were always shorter than me, which I just never understood. I was like, what? Like, it's a thing with me. I don't want to be taller than the person that I'm with. And how did you think I wasn't going to notice? And then I had one guy argue with me and say that he was 5'9" and I'm lying and I'm actually 6 feet tall. And I'm like, no, I'm 5'9" and you're a lunatic.
Let's call your mother and confirm what your height is.
Different guy. Just crazy. But you got to tell one of my favorite stories of yours. Because it's kind of along the same line.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, this was the first that I ran into that situation. And first of all, I'm height to me is usually okay. So I think this individual said she was like 6 foot tall.
Okay.
And she was about 6'3". So she was taller than me. And I was, initially I'm okay with that. I don't know if I could really deal with that all of my life or not, but I'm like, okay. And then of course, when I walked in, I saw her and.
Well, can you back up just a minute and
Sure.
like describe like what she said online that was inaccurate aside from the height?
Well, yeah. So the height was inaccurate and her picture was inaccurate, which I was just getting to. So,
okay. Sorry.
No, that's fine. When I walked in, I'm like, that's not. And then she's like, hey, Kevin. And I'm like, oh, wow, that is you 20 years later than your picture. And the hair was different color. I mean, it was all bizarre. So, just kind of roll with the punches. I'm already there. What are you going to do? We'll have something to eat and I'll go on my way. And as she got up from where she was sitting on the bench by where we were checking in for the restaurant, she picked up a backpack and flung it over her shoulder. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe she came from work or took the I don't, I don't know what, I didn't think anything of it. And we sat down and we had a couple of drinks and ordered an appetizer, and conversation was going nowhere. So for some reason I asked about the backpack. I'm like, oh, did you just come from work or,
Yeah.
She goes, no, that's for tonight. You're staying at your place tonight. I'm like, but you are? She's like, yeah, I thought that's how this all works. I'm like, it is. I haven't been on a dating scene in 40 years. I don't know I don't know what to do. So that's how it's working. Okay. So, long story short, I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Right. And she's like, no, I'm coming to your place tonight after dinner. And I'm like, listen, here's $50. I think I left 50 or $60. I said, have a nice dinner. Yeah. And, don't call me anymore. And I just kind of turned and walked away. So hopefully she had a nice dinner and, that backpack got some use somewhere else. But
it just amazes me that, I mean.
And it was never mentioned. Like, that wasn't a part of our conversation prior to meeting ever.
Totally get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't with me and the other guy either.
Yeah.
It was just out of the blue. Yeah. Like, oh, you expected me to have sex with you because you took me to fucking Bennigan's or whatever it was,
Hooligans.
I'm like,
yeah, but that's a guy's usual perspective, I think, more than a woman's. It just shocked me that she was like, but what's for, the backpacks for your place tonight? I'm like, okay. I say so.
So when we found each other, oh gosh, we had been talking for months on and off because of his travel schedule. I guess at one point I had given you my email address, and that took a lot of trust because, like I said, I always think everybody is a lunatic. So at one point I had given you my email address, and then I had just dropped off of all the sites because I was done. I was just done. I was like up to here, done with crazy online dating. So I quit. I was like, forget it. I'll be single the rest of my life, and that's fine, And then when we met,
just real quick, so that to me, when I couldn't kind of find you, I'm like, oh, she met somebody because I was dragging my feet or whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, that's too bad because she was kind of fun to talk to and text and stuff. And I kind of almost let it go. And then I just was like, you know what the hell? I'm home over the weekend. I actually have a weekend that I can go out. And so that's when I had emailed you, I think.
Yeah. So you emailed me and you said, hey, did you already meet somebody? I see you're not on the sites anymore. And I said, no, I'm just tired of dealing with lunatics. So, and he was like, oh, okay, great. Cause I'm not one. So do you want to go on a date? So we set it up to meet. And then
it was your call where you wanted to meet. I made sure that you had, the comfort of that.
Yeah. Which I appreciated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. And I appreciated that you were on time. So we met at a restaurant in Schaumburg, and it's a very popular restaurant, and the parking lot is insane, right? So
I can't believe you're going to tell this.
Well, this is how I knew that I was going to like you, like instantly. So I got there first because, like I said, I always get there first, so nobody knows what I'm driving, And he was there on time, and he walked in, and I stood up to say hello, and he gives me a hug, and he goes, "Could you have picked a busier fucking place to go?" He's like, "This parking lot is insane," and I just started laughing, and I was like, "Yep, this is somebody I'm gonna like," because that's how I felt too, But I can't help that. That's how their parking lot is. So then we had dinner, and I think we were the last ones in the restaurant.
You need to go backwards though, because before you got there, where were you?
Oh, yes. Okay. So I have never in my entire life, hand to God, I've never intentionally blown somebody off. And that particular night that we were meeting, I thought, he's just going to be another lunatic. And so I stopped at my friend Renee's house to have a glass of wine, and I was just going to completely blow you off. So I brought a bottle of wine over to her house, and I ring the doorbell, and she's like, don't you have a date tonight? And I'm like, yeah, I'm not going. She's like, what? And I said, I'm not going. Like, well, you and I will just have a bottle of wine and have a good night and, whatever. I'm just blowing him off. And she's like, you never do that. She's like, you cannot blow him off. You picked the restaurant. Like, this poor guy's going to be sitting there. And she made me feel so guilty that I was like, okay, fine, I'll go. But I'm not going before I have a glass of wine. So
or a bottle.
No, it was just a glass. But so I had a glass of wine with her. And then I told her when I was leaving, I'm like, I'll call you from the parking lot and tell you what a lunatic this guy is when I'm leaving, So he shows up, makes me laugh immediately. We have dinner. Were we the last ones out of there? Or am I thinking of a different?
I think that was another one when we were at the one in Woodfield, our like second or third
yeah, we
date.
went to P.F. Chang's that night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we were there a long time.
We were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I did, when you walked me to my car, because I allowed it, like, it was like, okay, you seem like a totally normal, down-to-earth person. And so you walked me to my car, you kissed me on my cheek. I got in the car, drove away, called Renee and said, I just met the most genuine person I have ever met in my life. And thank you so much for making me go. And that's truly what happened.
Yeah.
And truly what I said. And I wasn't wrong. Kevin is the most genuine person you will ever meet. What you see is what you get with him. And he's just the kindest, most big-hearted person in the world. And he's all mine, ladies.
Thank you.
So
thanks, baby.
You're welcome. So that's how we met. And that's just a couple of online dating stories. Do you have any others?
No, I mean, like I said, I didn't go on a lot. That one obviously stuck out to me, and I kind of stopped even communicating with anybody at that point, going, well, I don't, what do I do? I mean, if you can't look at something and not trust it, how do I know what I'm getting into, or what am I going to do here? So I kept kind of coming back to you. And said I really liked, what I've seen in the conversations that we had, all, most of it via that internet. Most of it was very fun. There was good banter back and forth. There were, I'd crack a joke or whatever. And I just, it seemed like you were the right person, but I didn't know that until I met you. So I don't really have any other stories because I really didn't have many more experiences before I met you.
I think my other crazy story, there were plenty of them, believe me. But I guess the other one that I can think of off the top of my head is I met this guy at a tapas restaurant and we had a great date. Actually, he seemed totally normal. And then we were walking out of the restaurant together and he went to his car and it was a minivan.
Oh.
And
no glass minivan.
Oh my God. So I was like, oh my God, this fucker is married. So I follow him to his car and he opens the door and I go, hey, and he turns around and I can see a car seat in the back of the minivan. And I'm like, married, are you? And then he's like, oh, well, yes, but it's not working out very well. And I'm like, I wonder why.
Because you're on a dating site. Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah. And he seemed like a totally normal guy up until that point.
Yeah.
So,
and again, I never would have thought that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe one of the dates I was on was a married woman. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, me either. But no normal human being has a minivan unless they're married with kids. Like, what I mean?
Scratch that. That's not true. That's some people have minivans. They don't have to be married or go into soccer games.
Nobody has a minivan that doesn't have children. And he never mentioned kids ever during the course of the conversation. So it was just weird. Yeah. It was an immediate red flag.
Yeah. Well, the redder flag would have been if the kid was still in the seat.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess my whole point to online dating stories is honestly not to discourage people from doing it. And I think that's what I'm doing.
It comes across that way a little bit, but that's not the meaning of this at all.
You're right. It is coming across that way because of my other experiences, but we did meet online, and obviously we got together, we got married, we're happily married for, oh Christ.
Come on.
11 years.
Yes.
Okay. Going on 12.
12 in January. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it all worked out for us. So don't give up hope, I guess, but it is seriously like kissing a lot of, what's the saying? Kissing a lot of frogs
to find a prince.
Yeah. Before you find your prince. So.
And I, just on top of that, I mean, obviously keep your head on a swivel. These, like, there are some crazy people out there.
Yeah.
And we're not meaning to discourage you if you are online dating. It's a great avenue. But be prepared to be prepared to do whatever you need to do. Run when you need to run. But I think Cheri had some great ideas about, not letting them see your car and get your license plate or find out where you live, or all of those things are important for the first meetup. And I think that's usually what people do, but it's a great reminder.
All right. So stay safe, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you want to comment on this or any other show, you can do so by emailing me at lifewithacheri@gmail.com. And again, Cheri is spelled Cheri. Thanks, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.